On February 24, 2011, individuals and members of various organizations representing a wide range of people with disabilities rallied outside the James Thompson Center in downtown Chicago against Illinois Governor Quinn's proposed state budget, which threatens cuts to services that empower people with disabilities to live independently on their own versus being in a nursing home to receive mental and physical health care services. Members of the disability community called on Governor Quinn to eliminate cuts to Center for Independent Living and eliminate proposed cuts to mental health, developmental disability, and substance abuse services, as well as detox programs. In addition, they demanded that the governor restore the circuit breaker program, maintain the current asset limit for individuals in the home services program, maintain the infrastructure capacity of all centers for independent living to deinstitutionalize people, and redirect and increase money for state-operated development centers to community-based services. Here's more of what some of the patients and their advocates had to say during and after the rally.
Okay, Illinois has a human services train, and it runs along the Independence line. People with disabilities were given tickets to ride the human services train on the Independence line. On board, people are using state-sponsored human services to remain independent, productive citizens of Illinois. The passengers on the train are parents with disabilities and children with disabilities, working folks and students, young people and old people, and all our citizens. The cars on the train of human services are assistive technology, personal care attendants, and homemakers. They are the community services and support people for people with disabilities. Other cars on the train are detox centers for people recovering from substance abuse and programs to help them stay clean. The Independence line allows people to control issues related to their mental and physical health. The human services train that runs along the Independence line is being steered completely off track, and it is about to derail and crash. All the passengers on the train will be casualties of this wreck, being forced off the train, out of work, into institutions, and unable to participate in society. Governor Quinn is the conductor of this train, and he needs to get down here out of the conductor's seat and fix this problem. He needs to fix the human services train because it is about to crash.
Another person that I want to introduce you to is James, and James is actually a veteran, is what I understand. Okay, so he fought for this country, he's a veteran. I need to mention, we couldn't move him out. We could not move James out. There are lots and lots of veterans with disabilities who are waiting to move out of nursing facilities and get their lives back. Okay, and James is one of the lucky folks, and I really would like if James could take a couple minutes to talk about his experience and why he's here. Hold on to that thing.
How's everybody doing this morning?
All right.
Let me say something. How many of y'all believe that God is a person of many chances?
Yeah.
I don't care how many mistakes you make, God is with you always.
Yes.
He said, I never leave you or forsake you.
Yes.
And what I have been through, not because of my bad experience, but living in that nursing home was an on and off situation. I was in there for 7 years. And believe me, I don't think no one that's capable like I am should be in that nursing home.
Yes.
I mean, you know, if you get down, pick yourself back up, keep moving forward. Don't stay down. Pick yourself back up. Move forward. There's always something out there for you. You know, you can have bad experience, good experience, whatever it is. Whenever you go down, just get back up. Keep moving. I believe everybody out here always giving a second chance at something. Thank you.
And I'm here to protest that they don't close C4 because C4 helped me a long way.
What is C4?
C4 is a recovery program for people with disability. I got a psychological problem. I had an addiction drug problem, and for years and years I wanted to commit suicide. C4 also helps with housing. It keeps me in housing. C4 helps me keep my sanity. If I didn't have C4, I don't know what I would do out here. C4 is my life.
So
I count on C4.
So what you want the governor to do?
To keep C4 open so that I can keep my insanity, so I can have a place to come to. So each year that I won't wind up doing something that I was wanting to do 10 years ago, I don't want to do now. See, without C4, I don't know what I'm going to do out here. If they close C4, I'm out here in a world just lost. See, Governor Thompson needs to open his eyes, his head, to see people what they really are going to C4 for. C4 is for a place for people who needs help, who needs their insanity. It's not just only for alcohol. That governor needs to open his eyes and see, I don't have just a drug problem. I got a problem of wanting to commit suicide. Now I don't want to do it because of C4. I got a stability. I got a reason to want to stay alive. They need to keep C4 open.
And I've been a member of C4 for 10 years. And they have kept me out of the hospital. I was able to work a job as a prosumer, which was kind of a case manager's aide for 12 years. I'm able to go to church and play flute and have friends. And previous to meeting them, I was homeless. And I suffered from quite a serious mental illness, but I've been stable for about 15 years now, and they have radically changed my life. And it's just important that these community health centers are open. They were started under President Kennedy. And I think we all need to know that 1 out of 10 people in the USA suffer from some kind of mental illness. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's the last stigma, according to Tipper Gore, it's the last stigma of the 20th century. And you wonder what the average mental health of someone walking down the street is. I mean, C4 has reduced crime, kept people out of the emergencies room, have cut down healthcare costs. And really, they're just taking money from a program that works, which is harm reduction, and giving it to the hospital companies to make money out of when we're hospitalized.
So what you want the governor to do?
I want the governor I want the governor not to make any budget cuts. I want funding for community mental health centers and for community health centers. I think that's the wave of the future.
And why are you here?
Because we want to save rehab services for the people with mental illnesses and disabilities. Because, I mean, the state has been cutting them down, and now the federal budget wants to cut them down, and they're already cut down to bare bones. And it's hurting the people who are hurting the worst as it is. And how much more can you take away?
Are you a patient?
I'm a consumer, yes.
What clinic you go to?
I go to Sertoma.
Huh?
I go to Thompson Center.
So you hope he does what? The governor?
I can't hear you over that.
What you think the governor should do today?
Well, hopefully not cut more of the budget. I mean, if you take away more services, we're down to nothing. And there's people that I know have already fallen through loopholes because they've already taken away. I know some people that because they took away services to people that don't have Medicare and are on, that don't have Medicaid and are on Medicare, they've already fallen through the loopholes, and they need services and they can't get them if they don't have enough money. They're just over the brink, and it's hurting them really badly.
I'm staff at Thompson Center, and we provide psychosocial rehabilitation services to mentally ill consumers. And it's important for us to come here and bring the consumers here just so that they can advocate for themselves. I think a lot of times people make cuts and they don't realize that there are real people being affected by the cuts, and we need to stand out. We need to do whatever we can do to try to stop some of the cuts to the people who do need it the most.
Okay, and you hope the governor does what?
I hope they reconsider what they're cutting. I hope they realize that there are people who are already struggling to make it, and they can't afford to have any more cuts.
What are some of the things he's proposing to cut?
One of the concerns is the circuit breaker program, and a lot of our consumers rely on that in order to be able to get from place to place. And as we're working with them to get jobs, and as we're working to reintegrate them into their communities, they need to be able to get around.
You know, we really need mental health services. There's more and more people coming down with becoming anxious, and anxiety is on the rise. It's in every kind of family, every class, every race, and I don't think we should have those budget cuts because a lot of people will be without services, and people are able to function if they do have these mental health services.
What patient, are you a patient?
I am a patient or consumer at Thompson Center. I've been going for many years. I've been sick since I was 13. I'm 56 now. I didn't want to admit that I had mental problems, but finally it just got to me, and I did. And I really benefited from that. I've never been able to live life fully until these last 5-10 years. I didn't know that these services, I wasn't getting all the services I needed, and now I am.
So what you want to say to the governor?
I want to say that don't cut any more mental health services. There's people that really need them, and I want you to really think about it, you know, because people will really suffer if they don't have them.
I'm here from Thompson Center to try to stop the budget cuts. I think a lot of people with mental illness need the circuit breaker program, and I also think that a lot of people need services like Thompson Center, because I've been going to Thompson Center for over 5 years now, and I really benefited from the program, and I think it's an excellent program.
How long you been in it for?
I've been in Thompson Center for over 5 years.
What type of services you receive over there?
We do mental health services, we do individual therapy, group therapy. We do different groups. We go from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Some of us go less days a week, and I think everybody that goes there benefits from the program, and we need to keep the mental health services going.
If Governor Quinn was out here right now, what would you say to him?
I would say stop the budget cuts, keep mental health services going, and keep the circuit breaker program open to the mental health individuals that need it.
On their own in the community. We're here with a bunch of other disability groups today to make a statement against cuts to human services in the proposed Illinois state budget. These cuts are really, going to the heart of programs that support people with disabilities living on their own in the community. The law says people with disabilities have the right to get services in the community instead of institutions. It's been proven that it costs less money, it makes more economic sense to do that, and also it strengthens our community, makes them more diverse, and when people with disabilities are living on their own, and that way they're able to work and participate and contribute, also strengthening the community. So our point is that, these cuts, we understand everyone's got to make sacrifices, but these cuts to human services are really going to force people with disabilities to lose their independence, maybe force them back into institutions, which is going to cost more money in the long run. So these cuts really, if they're designed to save money, they don't make fiscal sense. And so we want to establish a dialogue with the governor and with the state budget people to let's find a better way. We're like I said, we're willing to make sacrifices because we know everyone's got to do that, but there's a better way than the independence of people with disabilities.
So one more other question.
Yeah.
Did you ever send a letter or speak to the governor at any point yet?
Oh yeah.
So
We've
what
had
happened?
dialogues for over the course of many years. I mean, with previous governors and this governors and with people with State Department people, the Department of Human Services, but every year this seems to be an issue where people with disabilities within Human Services are always the focus of some pretty significant cuts. But yeah, we want a dialogue, and we want to continue that dialogue to find a better way.
Have they ever said said there's anything that they could think about in order to not cut somewhere else?
Well, that's what we're hoping to get at now for this cycle. Is we're hoping to find that solution, so it won't affect the people with disabilities and people can continue living in the community.